Hey everyone, it's Catherine again here. I'm going to give you my new updated 2-minute pitch for Stitch Canvas. So hopefully this gives you a little more information this time around. So clothing, creativity, and convenience are three things we all need, and that makes Stitch Canvas the outfitter to make them all happen. Stitch Canvas allows you to be your own designer from the comfort of your own home. Simply choose the garments that are right for your closet, upload your design on the web portal, and our manufacturing team will take it from there. Don't know which styles are best for you? Don't worry. Our garment samples can be shipped to you for free to try on. Simply select your style, size, and hit ship. And if you love your designs, chances are others will too. Stitch Canvas allows you to share your designs with others and earn a commission on every sale transaction made with your design. Put your creativity to work for you. The end. So that's my new pitch. And I think when I was watching my video last week, I realized that my pitch, and I know it was supposed to be really rough and informal, and it was the first week, but my pitch didn't really get to the heart of Stitch Canvas, which is that you are the designer for Stitch Canvas. You're not simply just shopping other people's designs, although that is an option, and I'm sure that will be a very big part of my customer base in the future. But what I'm really looking to start is a platform where you can be your designer and you can make what you want on your clothes happen. I think that the market, like I said last week, for things like t-shirts and stuff to be a little more custom, I think that's pretty well established through Zazzle, through Etsy. There's a lot of websites that will sell you a t-shirt that is custom, but there's really not anything that I found that will sell you something that is work appropriate, that's your own custom design. So I really think this kind of fits that niche that I think is missing. And going back to why I think it's important, a lot of people out there have not a lot of time, not a lot of money, and not a lot of motivation to put a lot of time into a wardrobe that's comfortable, business professional, and unique. But at the same time, I think we all kind of want to be a little bit unique. So this is an area where I think that a lot of room for growth exists. So not your t-shirt market per se, or your pajamas or your fun socks, but things that you can actually wear to work that are still business professional. And really, Stitch Canvas, you can make whatever you want. So it doesn't have to go with you to work. I just feel like this is something that is not very well established right now that I could kind of be on the ground floor of. Again, I'm a teacher, so I like to go to work and I like to be comfortable, but I also like to be creative in what I wear. I mean, if you want to see what I have to take to work, again, I work in a prison, so this is about how creative my work stuff gets. Sometimes it feels this boring, clear bag. So if I'm wanting to be fun, it's really got to come through like in my clothes. So that's something that I actually think is kind of fun and something that I would look to increase in my own wardrobe, which is why I think I'm passionate about making this my project right now. So going to the Udacity videos, the value proposition video, I thought it was very well put together and very straightforward, and it really makes you think about, is this a need or is this a want, or is it solving a problem? And in this case, I really do think that, it's more on the need side of things. It's not like a service, like it gives the examples of accounting or of, different bookkeeping software or, website building software. It's very much like a need, but it's something I feel like people use to express themselves. And it's very common now in your Instagram age and your age where everything feels custom, to your phone cases, to your backpacks, to, what kind of license plate you have on your car. Everything feels like it's custom. So it's definitely a need, but it's something that we all need. We all need clothes, obviously. So I think in the Udacity videos on value proposition really hit at the painkillers. So what are you going to reduce or eliminate by having this product? And I think for me, the first thing it talks about is wasted time. I don't want to use my time on the weekend to go to the mall and spend hours looking at stuff that probably won't work, to be honest. I want to know exactly what works for me, exactly where to go to get it, and to know that it's going to get there on time and reliably. The cost is really one thing that I have some concern about in terms of it's custom stuff, so it has to be worth it for the manufacturer to make this. So what I've been spending a lot of time on this week is kind of looking at, how are clothes even made? How does this work? Is it sublimation dyeing? Is it screen printing? Where would they be made? Do people want American-made products? That was one thing that I was asked this week in the discussion boards, is where are you going to make this stuff? And although the USA is very tempting because people like to buy stuff from this country, it's going to get to you quicker, it's going to probably be made with less labor issues, it's still going to be more expensive that way, is what I found in my research so far. So just kind of figuring out, how do you get this information timely overseas, using companies that you feel like have good labor practices, but also still kind of maintaining that cost value for the customer. Because again, going back to my budget, I can't spend $50, $60 on one shirt. I could spend 30 though. So how do you remain competitive, but also like add this value of it's something that's unique? I think that the negative emotions part of what the painkillers, portion of the value proposition video is getting at is nothing. If you go to the mall, you're wasting your time, you're spending a lot of money, and if nothing fits you, you're going to have all these negative emotions. So coming to Stitch Canvas and having garments ordered that are going to fit because you've gone through our sample program, you've tried stuff on, that's going to eliminate a lot of the negative emotions that you might feel about having to go shop for stuff. Like you said, or like I said, I don't know who you is, like I said, that, eliminates some of that time and some of that stress, because we're all busy. Gain creators, what makes the customer happy? Well, and like I said, in my case, it makes me happy because I get to be creative and design this this garment. So it's kind of like if you go into your house and you look at paintings on the wall that you just bought at Home Goods, you might love it, it might be great, but are you going to feel a little bit cooler about something if you made it? Like I do. So I think a lot of people out there do as well. So I think that going forward is going to be one thing that you get customers with because they're excited about being creative, and then you keep customers because they're being creative, people like their stuff, and then they're getting feedback from other customers who are buying their stuff. So it's kind of like a win-win situation if you're uploading your designs and people also like them. Concerning the app website, part of the value proposition, it's convenient. You're going online. It takes not that long to upload designs that you've already made. You get immediate feedback of what it would look like on the garment because hopefully the software will be able to project whatever the design is that you upload onto the garment that you chose. So hopefully you get a little more reassurance that that what you're designing is going to actually look good. So again, it probably wouldn't hurt to have a design team that's very familiar with clothes, with the printing process, to maybe give feedback. It's kind of similar to when you go upload your personal photos to like Walgreens, for example, to get them printed. A lot of times the actual software that they have in their website will say, hey, this is probably going to look better on a 4x6 instead of a 3x5. So maybe there's something similar that you can get for clothing that says, hey, this yellow that you picked does not work well with this fabric that you chose for the garment that you like. Maybe you want to consider XYZ. So again, I don't know how difficult it is to do a lot of that printing. I don't know how hard it is to have a lot of colors available. So that's something I really want to research more when I'm looking at the partner side of this business canvas. So that is my value proposition kind of overview right now. I'm still really happy with the idea that it's clothing, something we all need, it saves time. I really think that that's kind of like, it's not a new thing in terms of clothing's not a new product that we're just now coming into, but it is a new way to think about clothing and mixing some hobbies with that as well if designing stuff is something that you like to do. So moving on to customer segments, develop for the few, not the many. This is probably something that at first, when I made the video last week, I was like, okay, it's probably going to be a trendy 20-something-year-old up to 40. But I got a lot of feedback from classmates. It's like, hey, I'm over 40 and I think this sounds cool. Or I'm over 40 and I don't need the business clothes, but this sounds really cool in a bathing suit. So kind of keeping in mind that some of the products that maybe I don't care as much about, because I don't either live at the beach or I don't go to the pool all the time, other people might really like that though. And so depending on, some feedback and some surveys that I really still need to do a lot more of, like the videos say, get out there. The textbook says, get out there. Everyone says, get out there. So that's something I really want to do more of as we go on through the project. So I do think that the trendy woman, though, is still my target market. Like you really could expand this to like, oh, I'm going to go talk to a lot of dudes. Maybe they want custom clothes. I'm going to go talk to a bunch of, people who have grandkids and they want to buy them custom clothes. But I really think right now, keeping it limited to like the working girl who's in more of a professional type job, that would be something that I'd probably want to start with in terms of making that like minimum viable product. So I did mention last week though, and I still think that it's a segment that would work, is the medical profession too. So not your traditional, like I'm going in a pencil skirt and like a nice, button down shirt to work, but I have a uniform, but I can still make that cool depending on where I work. So that's still something that I think would be worth pursuing, and probably a little bit easier to get stuff like printed on at first, because I think the medical scrubs fabric profession or fabric providers probably are kind of used to doing a little bit more of those fun designs than your average just career girl store. So keeping that in mind. So yeah, my pivot moment from Classmates was really though that you're not limited to like this 20-year-old to 40-year-old girl. You could go, either direction on that and still probably have a market. So I think my focus next week is to continue on figuring out more about the clothing process, getting an idea of who some of the manufacturers are. I mentioned a lot about Banana Republic last week, and so I started going down that path of like, hey, where do they get their stuff made? And it was like, oh, they're just now in Myanmar, even though that's recently just now been opened up to go have manufacturing again, because they had a lot of restrictions for a long time because of their government. So how do you balance these things of like, you want to work with people that are reliable and fair, but you also need to save money. So just seeing who would be open to the idea of getting a lot of these one-off orders for a while before you really figure out what designs are really popular. So that, I don't know if it exists, and I don't know how hard it is to alter their process for things that are sometimes going to be single purchase items and designs. So again, in my pivot moment in the future, I was like, what could be a pivot moment if it turns out the manufacturer cannot do these like one-off designs? Do you just wait and see what designs are popular and then do a big order? Do people not care to wait around to see if their designs are liked enough? I don't know. So hopefully my digging will turn up some more stuff at that point. So that's really all I have right now. I'll get a little fancier next week with a PowerPoint probably. And until then, it's awesome looking at y'all's stuff, and I can't wait to hear your feedback on this video. Thank you.